Hi everybody. Today I'm going to talk about data classes in Kotlin. Now let's start with the previous lesson. We have the package hello and function main. And data class in Kotlin is a summer class that to hold data, and it has some of the new methods that are useful for manage your data. And so let's start with some of the simple, a very simple example here. I define a class user, the data class user, and the input property as a constructor. We have a name, have a age is a input parameter for some of the value in the class. And open data class cannot be inherited if it is not compatible with open, so you cannot inherit a data class. So let's start by defining a user object. We have a name, is test name, and the age is 18. So this is a user object, and you can print out using the toString. The toString for an object is a function to show the detail object as a string. So you have a user name, test name, and the age is 18. Okay, so now I want to we have some of this property here. Okay, so now if we want to create a new user, backup user, and I copy, what does it mean? Copy means clone an object, make a new object with the same value, name, and age, but the same but in different memory location, or for example it's in separate location. So if you change one value from object 1, the second object cannot be changed, so it is a copy or clone. If I change the age property, if I change a property, so it will be 80, and the backup user not change, and this is a separate object. So now I can print after copy. You can print now. Yes, so we have two independent object with the age t and 18. Okay, so this is a separate object. And then what about the hash code? Hash code means the object content. All the content of the object will be mapped to a number, and the number represent to the object content. So you can print out to see that what is hash code here. Hash code means bring all the content of the object and make it as a number. Then after running, you see that we have a two number, that the object content will be here, and it is a different content. It has different content because one has a user is different from other user age. So now if it is not changed, then two object has the same content. So you see that the content here, it is the same content, so it through the same number, and then I can use a hash code. I can compare the hash code between two of the object to determine which object is has the same content or not. And then I can print out that two objects has the same content if it has the same hash code value. And then we can see that two objects have the same content. So if we change the user object, the property of age to 80, I see that two objects have not the same content. So this way is similar to using to compare content step by step of each of two objects. And you can use the equal function. Then the equal also compare the content of user and backup user, and two code line here are the same. It is the same. you can compare the hash code, or you call the equal function. Hi everybody, in this lesson I will talk about nested and inner class in Kotlin. Now start with the previous project and with the main function and package hello. So I will try to define some of the nested and inner class in some example. Let's start with a class named fruit. Inside the fruit we have the private variable or private property. Watermelon is a string, and you can add a string in emoji and symbol, and you can add multiple string here. For example, you add the string for watermelon. Okay, and I also have the private variable for wrapper at green apple for some of the fruit. And then you can add more icon here. You can use emoji, multiple emoji here you can add. Then we have a three private property, and inside this I define a class nested. A nested class means that a class inside another class. So after defining, I can define the class as a normal class by adding function inside this class. We have a say hello, and inside the say hello I cannot access the property up here. You cannot access the property wrapper or the property of the outer class. Yes, remember that you cannot use this property. And what about I pronounce as it is a function inside a nested class. So inside the main function I can call to this by create calling dot nested. Remember that you have not initialized the object. You do not have to initialize the object of it. You only call this nested, but you have to initialize nested and call say hello. Okay, and you have the function IAM function inside a nested class. Then what about this? I define the inner class. We have an inner class. Inner class means that this class is inside the fruit, and you can use this class can use some of the property of the outer class. For example, I have the function get apple emoji return to string, and inside this I can access a property of outer class, the property of green apple. Yes, inside the fruit. Okay, you can access this inside the inner using this property. So inner class means that you can access the property of the outer class. So let's start by creating a fruit object, and inside the fruit object I can access to the inner instance or inner object and call the get emoji apple emoji. So please return to the string. Yes, and run. Okay, and apple emoji is here and a function in the inner class. So the inner class has deeper access to the outer class than the nested class. And depending on your purpose, you can choose between nested or inner class. What about you can use this inner fruit you initialize using and dispatch to an object here, an inner fruit, and here I call the inner fruit. Then you can use this way and run. Okay, and upper emoji is apple icon here. Okay, hi everybody. In this lesson I will talk about how to use enum classes in Kotlin. Enum classes is useful for defining some of the specific value for some specific type. For example, we have the enum here class is compass duration, and the class compass duration only have four value. It was short, sound, and not, and it's only receives one of these four value, not another value. So you have to use the enum or enumeration, the enum class. So you can call the enum class value using dot class name dot value. So the value here, this is very simple. You can add or remove the values into this depending on your business. And we also can define enum with the initialize, because the enum class is also a class, then it can be initialized. So this is some of the input parameter or property. We have the color is height color. The height color is about from 0 to 255. Then we have the value red, green, blue. So you can convert to string using toString to convert it to string. Here, the string here is also blue, and the value here is a string. And you also use the property name to get the name of the specific property. So you also use ordinal. Ordinal means the order. For example, 0, 1, 2. The first value is 0, second is 1, and second is 2, etc. And after running this, you can see that the green value is ordinal. It has ordinal 1 because it is from 0, 1. Okay, so the ordinal is the sort of the value inside. You can also get the value using the value of you input the string is blue, and you get the value depending on that blue. So you can run. Okay, and you see that the input is a blue string, and the output it will insert on the value, and if it has this value, it return to the value. When you add an unknown value or the value is not in the list, then run, you will see an exception. The exception or the error through that no enum constant has a value is blue 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is check for the value is exists or not. You can also get the value. Value is an array. It is an array of all of the value inside the enum class. Inside the enum class, and then you can for loop the array to and fetch data to the color blue of each of the element inside the array. Then you print out the color value and run. Okay, and you see that the color value is red, green, blue. It's a value of each element inside the enum class, inside the enum class. And you can also add an action state. For example, this is enum, and inside this I can add an abstract function. The abstract function means a function that define you can add more implement inside this or no implementation, so it's called the abstract. So inside this we have the reverse action. The reverse action here means that when you add active, it will flip to inactive, and when you add inactive, it will flip to active. Okay, this is when you want to press some button 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so after calling the reverse action from active, you can change to inactive, and vice versa. From inactive, it will be changed to active. Okay, so we have a two value. Then after running, we show that we can have the two value, inactive and active. Okay, then This is the way you flip a value. And this is the end of my. Hi everybody. Today I will talk about delegation in Kotlin. What about the delegation? Now I will give you an example about the delegation. Example, we have a cookie bird. A cookie bird here asks the eagle that can you please fly and finding food for me? And the eagle, okay, I am eager and I will flying. I am flying and finding food for you. It means that the bird or the cookie delegate the right to the eagle to fly and cookie food for the bird. Example, it is the delegation. The delegation here means that cookie delegate eagle to fly and find food for cookie. Okay, and in this example, I will demo this example to show you how to understand about the delegation. The delegation means that please do it for me. Okay, first we have the first interface, bird interface, and the bird interface has the function or method fly and find food. And we have a class eagle that implements the interface bird interface. It means that class eagle must do all the function inside the bird interface, and it is the implementation of the interface. So you have to override. Remember that use override function fly and find food. So in this I will print out that I am an eagle and blah blah years old, and I try flying and finding food for you. Okay, and this is the eagle class, and implement the interface find and finding food and flying. Then after that we have the another class cookie. The cookie is for bird. This bird use the input as the interface bird interface, and will implement the interface bird interface. This means that cookie can ask delegation to eagle or self doing. Okay, so let's start with we have the override to work the fly and find food, and inside this I add I am a cookie and I'm flying and find food. Okay, and this it means that the fly and find food methods will be implemented by cookie. So firstly I create the eagle object and call the fly and find food for the eagle, and I run. Okay, let's wait a few seconds. We see that this is I am eagle, I am 2 years old, and I'm flying and finding food. It means that the eagle implement the fly and find food. And what about the cookie? I create a cookie object which the input is the interface, means that I add the implementation for the interface or the object eagle as the input parameter of the constructor for cookie for cuckoo. Okay, so it means that the cuckoo will delegate to the eagle to do. So I call fly and find food. It means that it will call to this, but when I comment out, it means that eagle will fly and find food for cookie. Yes. Okay, so let's start with running, and I see that okay, now we have an eagle. The second is also eagle, but I call from cookie, and the message is I am eagle. It means that the eagle has done the task of flying and finding food for the cuckoo. Okay, and then I will here to open this implementation. So the cookie do not delegate to ego. So cookie also do for itself and do it yourself. Yes, and it will print out that I am cookie and I'm flying and finding food. Okay, so if here I run, I see that I am a cuckoo, I'm trying and finding food. Okay, so it means that the cuckoo will do it for itself. Yes, and flying find food. Okay, hi everybody. Today I will talk about delegated property in Kotlin. So let's start with the blank project, and we will talk about delegated property. Now we have a user class, and in the user class we have a today task is a string, is a property. So the user will delegate to the delegated user. For example, hi delegated user, please implement getter and setter of this property for me. It means that the user will delegate to the object, delegate user to do the getter and setter to the user. Yes, this is a delegated property. It means a property will be related to another class to do the getter and setter for this user or this class or this current class. So okay, this is a diagram. Now start with defining a user. We have the user class with the property today task is a string, and we have the class delegated user. It means that the user will delegate to the delegated user about how to do some of the function getter etc for the property of the user. Okay, so in this we will have some of the you need to use the operator function. You remember that user operator function, it is a the getter. So when you get the value, it will call to the getter, and the property is a Kotlin property. So getter is get value and setter is set value. Remember that about this. And the delegated user will implement this function. Okay, so remember that the property is var today task, and you have to by delegated property by delegated user, and this wrap means that the user object here it is a user object or the delegation object. So you have to call this, and inside this we implement we return to the value. For example, you return to the value that this wrap or the user object time for delegating the property name or today task to me or to delegated user. This is any because it can do for any object that you define, except that user object or etc any object. So the property name is today task, string today task. And we also have the setter. The setter is a set value function. I use the operator function set value, and similarly to get value, I will use a set value. When you set a value to the property, the delegated user will do it for you. And inside this, I use I can access to the value to the property. The property here is task for today, and the value here is a new value. The new value has assigned to the current task today. For example, you have the task 1, task 2, and assigning. Then we have a new object of user here. We create a new object, and I print to the screen that object today task. This will call the getter. When you dot and to the property, it will call to the getter to get the value, and it will call to the get value function. So we run. Okay, then it going to hello user object at blah 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 blah. Here is memory address, and thanks for getting today task. For me today task is a property.name. Okay, and this rep point to the user object in the hello package, and so it is a get value. You can change the return value for this depending on your aim, your purpose of displaying the value. And if you assign a today task to a new value, then this will call the setter. The equal or assignment is the setter. The setter will set the value or the new value as I make a new video tutorial on Kotlin, and this is a value. This string is also a value. So this value will be set to today task, and after setting it will call to set value function. So you see that yes, assigning to today task in hello user object, the detail is new value. I make a new video tutorial in Kotlin. Okay, so this is the delegate of a property